if they're not closed.
Okay, hold on just a minute. My guest today is Me Sah. This is the second half of the show. Me Sah is a spiritual medium and a clairvoyant. She's been a teacher and consultant, and also a student of the spirit metaphysics, spirituality, meditation phenomena, and the esoteric. All right, Me Sah, go ahead. We're in the second half of today's show, and I think you really brought out some good points. I mean, we can, instead of fighting, instead of building up this animosity against whoever is the jure enemy of the day. This is coming from the dark side, whether it's Muslims they want us to fight, or Jews that they want us to fight, or Christians that they want us to fight. Somebody's trying to get us to fight. So, and that whatever that is, it's not exactly a nice entity, is it?
Well, it's not, and it keeps us separated, because the real danger for the darkness is for the people of light to come together and to unify and to put out all those good frequencies and vibrations and to lift the whole planet up so that evil can't get a hold of us anymore. So the way they do that is to manipulate us into fighting, into feeling we're separate, you know, we're right, they're wrong, blah, 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 blah. It's done on many levels and many ways. And what you're talking about, the Liberty Villages, is a way for people to come together. And Jesus indicated that when he said, when two or more are gathered in my name, I am there. The name I am is a name of God in us. Remember when Moses stood in front of the burning bush and said, who shall I say sent me? The voice said, I am that I am. So the I am in me is God in me. The I am in you is God in you. And when we get together and we create a field, an electromagnetic field of that energy, then we are a grave danger to the darkness, because they cannot come up against us. And that's also why Jesus said, you know, come together to worship, and come together and be a community, because he knew the power of that. So these Liberty Villages are very, very important in that sense, of bringing like-minded people together and to create that force field of light and energy and awareness. So yay.
And that's exactly what we'd like to do. We've got about 50 acres sitting around here, and they would like to, the owner would like to see one village and you know, 1 acre, 10 houses in 1 acre, 10 people living near each other, working together for their own good. If it's good for me and my family, and you live next door to me, it'll be good for you and your family. We should be no disagreements here. Now we do have powerful enemies. Matter of fact, gentlemen, I'll have on Friday I'll have Kurt McKenzie talking about a disturbing truth that the nation's rural communities are under attack from every direction. Agency abuses and threats, regulatory excesses, private property, water grabs. You know, you can't you know, in Oregon right now, you can't catch the rain running off your roof. Or if you're in Colorado, you can't put a rain barrel under there to get fresh water. They made it criminal.
There's one state where you can't plant a garden. I can't remember which state it is. But you can go to jail for planting a garden.
They are trying to do that. That's exactly, and you know, I warned people years ago. You know, when I came up with the idea of Liberty Villages and the whole idea of you can grow your own food, generate your own energy, what do you need government or banks for? What do you need?
Yep.
And
that's right.
That's then suddenly I started having accidents. You know, that's somebody doesn't like you being independent. They don't like it. They don't like it. That's the control elements from the elite, I would say. And
the darkness that runs the elite. You know, it's the Bible says we are dealing with principalities and powers. It goes beyond the elite. The elite really are just puppets of the powers of darkness that are not necessarily even physical, but they're there, and they have a huge, huge influence. And it's a fight for light and dark on the planet, no question about it.
And people, somebody made a comment about them being stupid. I believe it was James Forrestal replied to Joe Kennedy that consistency is not the mark of stupidity. If they were just stupid, occasionally they'd make a mistake in our favor.
They're not stupid.
No, they're not, and they've been in control for a long time. So we've got that. That is why I'm encouraging. Now, I'm only personally, I got 1 acre available. I got 1 acre available down here. If we want to put houses on there, we could do that probably for about $150 a month.
Wow.
And I don't care what kind of. I do. On my acre, I want the tiny Texas style. You want you need a little bit more room. You need a little bit bigger dinner party. We'll have a space for that. We'll have a meeting hall that's available to the public. As a matter of fact, we've got there's buildings that are being developed right now, and so you can set up shops. You can set up, and it'll be a big weekend event. Big weekend event, a salvage fair.
Oh.
A salvage fair, and people already come from all over the country. Half dozen or dozen. People stop by off the highway. They see the signs. They stop by into this place and walk through the homes here. You can do this. Anybody can do this. This is open to the public. But within 90 days, you'll see something else building and growing here.
Ah.
And we're encouraging barter.
Uh-huh.
We're encouraging barter. That way you don't have to deal with taxes, governments, or anything. I got a door here. I'll trade you for 2 windows.
Right. Years ago, have you ever read How to Prosper Through the Coming Bad Years?
I haven't read that. No, ma'am.
It's a very good book, and it's been around for a very long time. And he talked about, bartering and what to keep, because it'll be important if things absolutely collapse that you can barter with, and the importance of bartering. And I think that's just got so much value to it.
I think that's it's really a wave of the future.
Yep.
Production. What can you produce? What can you produce? Right there. I mean, we can make solar units. You can build windmills. You can build windmills. Hang up a picture of Don Quixote.
Yeah. What about looking into what Nikola Tesla had developed, which was the free energy machine?
Okay, hang on a second here. We got what happened here? I only lost a few minutes here. Just a second here. Let me do this. Beautiful, wonderful. I love the 21st century. I think I personally think God talks to us on the internet. I think the internet is the reflection. As above, so it is below. I think that's really a reflection of the universal mind.
Well, it would certainly probably be the closest thing we have down here in the physical that we're aware of. Right. Although,
yes, I'm still working. Okay, everything's still working here, I believe. All right.
Also, have you heard of the geothermal rods that you can put into the ground, and they'll keep your house warm in the winter and cool in the summer?
No, I haven't heard about that. Talk about that. I'll be right back. Hang on. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I don't know the details. My sister was telling me about this. It's some kind of rod that goes deep into the ground and will basically even out the temperatures in the house and bring warmth in the winter, coolness in the summer, and it's free. I don't know really what they're called, but I know that they're out and they're around. And you don't pay any utilities to put that rod in the ground.
Well, there's a lot of people that are generating their own heat from compost, that kind of thing. But
yes.
I haven't heard about these geothermal rods yet. Now there are different types of stones have different vibration levels, and
that's right.
So it's quite possible that these things exist. I don't know about yet.
Yep, I don't know too much about it either. And there's free energy. You know, Nikola Tesla had a free energy machine.
Those are against the law in the United States. If they call them perpetual motion machines, and they're actually a law passed against you being able to generate your own energy like that, because it threatens their whole energy-based system.
Yeah, what a surprise, huh? Yeah. Well, I think that there's lots of ways to approach it, and I think wind power and solar power are the two probably most well known and absolutely work. So, you know, the sun shines every day. Nobody owns the sun. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought nobody owned the water either, but guess I was wrong about that, huh?
You know, in a lot of rural areas, they are forcing people to get off of their wells and use city water and shut down their wells.
They are trying to do that. They wanted to put a meter on my well in New Mexico. I said, "Are you, you're planning on crossing onto my property and tacking a meter onto my well?" You know, I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't recommend that for your health.
No. In many ways, no. So I said, those controls, I think, are going to definitely try to tighten up. And in fact, I got some information about that I wrote down. Let me see if I can find my notes. And I think that as we're going into this time, the unrest is going to get bigger. I think they're going to try to control more, tighten up the laws. Also, I was told that there may be new diseases. There's always new diseases coming up, but there'll be new diseases. The chemtrails are going to keep going. The Antichrist has been chosen. He's in the background right now, but he has been chosen. You know, all the stuff with vaccinations, the food supply, the GMOs, all of that stuff, there's going to be a big push to get all of that stronger.
Slow death. This is slow death. There is really no difference between what's happening in America today with the pharmaceutical industries, with the GMO foods, everything that you've just mentioned, folks. There is no difference in that and Auschwitz, setting up these concentration camps, different way of handling the people, different way of handling the masses, and a different way of killing you. This is a slow death.
Now, I want to get back to raising the frequency. There was, do you know who Ram Dass is?
Yes.
Okay, you know.
I also met Timothy Leary. I've met all of the icons.
Okay, when he was still Richard Alpert and he went to India and he had that vial of pure LSD with him because he wanted to find out what it was, and he saw this little man sitting out in the middle of nowhere on a blanket with his just little Indian diaper on, and he gave him the LSD, and the guy drank the whole thing, and Richard Alpert went, "Oh my God, what's going to happen to this guy?" Well, nothing happened. Nothing happened because the guy was vibrating at such a fast frequency that the LSD had absolutely no effect. Now what would happen if we were all working on raising our frequencies and we got vaccinations? Nothing. What would happen if the chemtrails were activated more even than they are today? Nothing, because we would be vibrating at a frequency that would be so much greater than anything they were trying to do. They would have no effect on us.
Now, that's pretty interesting, because I made the comment, I did a film 15 years ago called Chemtrails, the video, that's still available today, and you can't find any more information anywhere else other than on that film. But I said, they can't be poisoning us, because I've been sprayed in Seattle, I've been sprayed in Miami, I've been sprayed in Phoenix, I've been sprayed in Dallas, you know, and I'm still alive. It didn't affect me. People are dying all over the place. People are in hospitals. I'm not. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? You know, I don't understand it. I wasn't supposed to live through that motorcycle accident back in 2004. Nobody injured that badly could possibly live, and yet here I am.
Well, obviously, you have things to do.
You just haven't finished your work yet, Clay.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And the human body has so much resilience. And when we start cleaning up the human body and we start the electrons spinning more quickly within the atom, then the frequencies start to rise. The frequency,
and that can be done. Let me just stress this. That can be done. You may call it prayer. That's thought. That's focusing your thoughts, focusing your concentration on what is beneficial for mankind.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely right. It can also be done, you know, there's a certain amount of cleansing we need to do in the physical body, but absolutely our thought will either slow that process down or it will speed it up. Now prayer is when we talk to God, but meditation is when we listen to God. And surrender is when we are convicted to God. And the surrender is a big thing, because the ego hates it when we surrender. Because if we don't surrender totally, selflessly, ready to walk with Spirit, then we haven't surrendered. So you can't surrender and say, okay, God, I surrender, but...
We're talking about vibrations here. Talking about vibrations, vibratory rates. Me Sah, I believe you've met my friend David Koss, who has done the videos and written a book called Farm Physics. He's talking about spinning your water, spinning your coffee, which is what I'm doing right now, folks. You know, I even gave up Cokes because I got tired of drinking flat Cokes. David, are you with me?
Yes, I am, Clayton, and I'm enjoying this show immensely. I wanted to let Me Sah know that she's a great guest, and I'm just overwhelmed by all the information she's been sharing today. And I just wanted to let you know, Me Sah, that I have discovered through my viewing on YouTube a facts which you may not be aware of yet concerning the pyramid at Giza. Have you seen that video yet?
I don't think I've seen the one you're talking about, David. Tell me about it.
Well, it's called The Secrets Hidden in the Pyramid of Egypt. And after you get done with the show today, I'd like you to pull it up and watch it. It talks about the fact that the Ark of the Covenant was placed in the Great Pyramid by the builders of it, and that Moses, when he left with the Israelites, stole that Ark out of the Great Pyramid, and that's what parted the Red Sea for them, and that's what they carried with them for 40 years in the desert. But this Ark, which is now sitting in Axum, Ethiopia today, I plan to bring to this country and put it back into a rebuilt pyramid with a gold capstone on top, and it'll supply free electricity for everyone in the country.
That would be really interesting. David, they've tried to kill a lot of people. My friend Paul Pantone, for doubling your gas mileage, they put him in an insane asylum for 2.5 years. doubling your gas mileage. Now he can only double it. He can actually do more than that, but again, more laws. But what about the pyramids? Me Sah, let me ask you about that. What about the pyramid? I mean, we've got a gentleman right down there that lives near David. He's been on my show many times. He builds a little aluminum pyramid that actually dissipates or eliminates chemtrails. And
pyramids, they're energy generators. Just the shape of the pyramid generates energy. So they're quite powerful, which is why they were used, and they were also used as initiatory structures. So when people would get initiated into the esoteric practices, they would go through rituals in the pyramids, which would raise their frequencies. So the pyramids, just the shape of the pyramid, is very, very important.
Maybe we should start installing these pyramids on the top of all these tiny Texas houses. You think?
Well, you know, when the
the buildings, the way they're built, each building has a loft, and that loft has seems to have a lot of energy concentrated on it, almost like a pyramid.
Well, also, you know, the geodesic domes are tremendous energy producers. So if you have a dome shape, which is why a lot of churches have dome shapes, you know, on the top of them, that will also produce energy. So geometric shapes have their own power and their own purposes.
David, did you have something to add to that, sir? Go ahead.
Well, these are all facts that we need to implement into our new educational system to teach our children the facts and figures correctly and appropriately so that they can use them in their lifetimes. But we've got a lot of changes that need to be made relatively quickly, and I think we're all about ready for it now.
Now, folks, I also want to urge you, you know, you can get back to a tiny house, but wherever you live right now, you can do what the Bible tells you to and come out of her. Now, we have both Timothy Bible College and the Way Church. And frankly, folks, you know, that those two entities are my sponsors. Timothy Bible College and the Way Church. Now, this I worked with Dr. Jake Wade years ago to start the Little Red Schoolhouses. And these little red schoolhouses are frankly just incredible. We've got them all over Texas, and teach through the internet, teach through Skype. The Way Church is part of that, Timothy Bible College. So I'm working on my master's degree in divinity and political science. You know, folks, you can do a lot of things. We can do if we work as community, and part of this is you know, we got to start attending town hall meetings. The way they rule over us is through consensus. If you sit down and shut up, then you're part of the consensus, no matter what direction it's going in. If you stand up and say, wait a minute, why are we going to do that? Why would we do that? Why would we want to do that? That's against the Constitution. That's against our principles. That's against our religion. We're not going to take vaccines. We're not going to do that. We're not going to cooperate in our own destruction. Folks, you know, that's what makes us a danger. That's what makes us a threat to the powers that be. Because if you start to realize that God is within you, not in that church, and not in that Catholic church, not in that Muslim mosque, it ain't there. It's inside you. You've taken the next step, I believe. Mesah, would you agree with that? We've got 4 minutes left, and tell people how they can get a hold of you. All of the links are up on my site, but next 4 minutes are yours. David, thank you for calling.
Good to hear from you, David. God in us works through us. And as long as we are working through the God in us, it's very different than working through our ego. So when we connect with that God in us and allow that to work through, I believe, miracles can happen, because that's the realm, that field of the heart where God is in us is the realm of all possibilities. And so when we access that, we're really opening the door. My website is www.mesah.weebly.com, and you can get a hold of me through that. My email is me_sah@hotmail.com. My cell phone is 928-606-6289. I welcome anybody that'd like to get a hold of me. Feel free to do so. And I want to thank you, Clayton. This has been delightful. I love being on your show, and I hope we can do it again soon.
I would love to have you back, because I think we need to discuss this. I'm working for the Way Church. Yeah, I'm working for Timothy Bible College. Yes, I'm doing everything I can to help you, provide you with a direct link to the best information I know of. I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to continue telling people about projects that I'm not even totally involved with. I will write these articles and bring people like you on, Me Sah. I really appreciate this kind of information. Because there really should be, it's kind of like I told the FBI, we shouldn't have any conflict here. We both took the same oath, didn't we?
That's right.
And my goal is to raise your level of vibrational energy to the fact that you can recognize truth from fiction. You can recognize when you're being trying to be led into a concentration camp or a situation that ain't going to help you or your family, folks. Get educated.
That's right.
It's really. Do you need that vaccine? I've never taken the vaccine since I got out of the Army. That one tried to kill me. I haven't taken a vaccination since, and I don't get sick. I don't get sick. I'm sorry. Don't get sick. Don't support the medical industry. If you eat right and you take the right vitamins, you can, as David says, you can live to be 100. No problem. I had a lot of great uncles that I got to meet when I was 6 or 7 years old that were in their hundreds.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, the human body is meant to last hundreds of years. It's built to last for that long.
And by the way, these houses that they're building down in Texas, the tiny Texas houses, those will last you for 100 years. They'll last you for 150 years. They'll last you for 200. And you can pass them on to your descendants. And your grandchildren can be living in these houses.
Well, I think it's a fabulous thing that's going on there, and I'm glad that you're bringing it to the attention to the public. And I commend you for that, and wish you all the success. And I'm going to watch what happens with that, because I think that's a great idea. It's a great idea.
All right. I appreciate you being on my show. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Clayton.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
Call recording has been completed.